you have less anti-nutrients on the animal side. And that's why you see a lot of these carnivore groups pop up that are like, oh my gosh, like look at all my autoimmunity is reversed. Why? Well, it's because animals don't have the need for anti-nutrients because they have claws or hooves or can run and can fight, so to speak, right? And so you have less anti-nutrients in a lot of these animal products. So when you see a lot of people reversing significant autoimmune condition with carnivore or semi-carnivore diets, and again, a carnivore diet is an autoimmune diet. It's a low FODMAP diet too. It's also low salicylate, so it's low anti-nutrient as well. But you see these stories, and the question is why. And most people, they're very dogmatic about it. It's like, oh no, it's this diet, this is what did it, and they don't really understand the mechanism of what's actually happening biochemically and physiologically. They're just they look at it more like a religion than it is like, let's just break down the science, right? Let's look at reason, logic, and evidence. And so the reason, logic, and evidence is reducing these anti-nutrients. And then also we chatted about off show, a lot of times these salicylates and phenols and anti-nutrients become more of a problem is when we have low sulfur or low glutathione to run a lot of our detoxification pathways. And a lot of times these sulfur and nutrients have a major effect on modulating our immune system too.
Yeah, well, here's the interesting thing. You've got these people that are going on the diets. So I need to look him up. George St. Pierre. He's a pretty
I think, isn't he a fighter?
MMA.
He's a fighter. Yeah.
I don't know if he still is or if he's retired or what his deal is. But anyway, I've seen him posting that he's gone to carnivore diet. And he was doing like a 30-day carnivore challenge, talking about how much better he feels. And he's posting all these pictures of his steaks. And so like you said, it does become kind of religion, like, okay, it's the vegan versus the meat group. But I think it's more important to highlight, okay, he's probably got something going on in his gut that's driving his autoimmune issue or whatever his issues were that led him to more meat-based diet. And you could do meat and remove all the anti-nutrients, sure, but what did you not address? And that's the problem that I have is when people are going to go and just eat a grass-fed steak twice a day and that's it for their diet, or maybe a handful of this or that, they're still missing the deeper things. So let's talk about that. Let's dive into more of these bigger things because people are not going to investigate it. They're just going to do the diet. They're going to feel better. And that's as far as it goes. They're never going to talk about what you and I are hitting on, which is you mentioned.
Yeah, and I'll just hit one more thread real fast. People that would go on like, let's say a meat only diet or a carnivore based diet and they feel worse. Why is that? Right? They're going to just think, oh, it's the animal products that did it. It's like, no, animal products are very taxing on your digestive system. So if you have inadequacies in HCl or enzymes or even bile salts, that weakness will be exposed by eating the meat because you may not have enough acid or enzyme or bile to break down that protein and fat. Therefore, that food's going to feel like a brick in your stomach. You're going to feel indigestion. You're going to feel bloating. You're going to feel motility issues. And so that could throw you off too. So if you are going to go carnivore or make changes in these diets, low-hanging fruit always is going to be how we cook the food, even if it's plants, right? Because just steaming and putting our plants in some kind of a stew or soup, or just even roasting it, way better than raw. And then, of course, enzymes and acids and potentially bile if our stool is not being broken down well, if it's floating, right? Those are all signs of not breaking down fat. And so we have to really make sure those foundational pieces are addressed.
Oh, yeah, that's a great call.